This is Sports Focus with John McNeil. How y'all doing? Something has happened over the last couple of weeks. I hope you guys are ready for this. Jeremy Lin. That's right. Jeremy Lin, the point guard from the New York Knicks. He is a sensation. He's turning into a superstar, guys. I hope you guys are watching the NBA right now. I mean, this guy is tearing it up. And the most important thing is his team is winning. So let me get you caught up with Jeremy Lin. So he just sort of popped out of nowhere. He just came out of nowhere. So Jeremy Lin, 23 years old, born in Los Angeles, California, grew up in Palo Alto, California, though. So I guess his folks moved out of there. His parents immigrated from Taiwan, and they came to the U.S. in the 1970s. So, you know, they came from Taiwan, they came to the U.S., and, you know, he's about 6'3". He's a 6'3", about 200-pound kid. Like I say, he's 23 years old, so he got a lot to play. If he can start now and start playing good, he got a good long future ahead of him. You know, so he went to Harvard, in case you guys didn't know. I know they're talking about this all on the news. If you watch ESPN, you watch this show, I'm going to tell you, Harvard went to Ivy League. That's an Ivy League school, for you guys don't know. That's like the smart schools, them Ivy League schools, the Princetons and all of them, and the ones that cost too much money. He didn't get an athletic scholarship either. So I don't know, you know, what his parents do. They ain't talking about that, but he made it there, and he made it on the team. You know, he became, you know, an all-pro there. You know, won MVP, I think, in 1 year. So and the thing with Lin is when you watch this game, he's smart. I've watched a couple of his games now because he's sort of turned it on. And he is a smart basketball player. Turns over the ball too much. I think he leads in the 5 games that he's played. He has a lot of turnovers, but you know he's putting up the points. He's helping his team win. You know, when he came into the NBA, he went undrafted. So that means nobody picked him in the draft. So he just had to find his way. Got picked up by Golden State. Golden State let him go. So the Knicks. I know there's a lot of Celtics fans, but the Knicks picked him up December 27th of 2011, and it seems like ever since then it's been on. You know, Carmelo Anthony went down, and Amari Stoudemire, unfortunately, he had a death in the family, so he hasn't been playing. He just started playing the last couple of games, but Melo, he's still out with this injury, and look who came. Look who's shining right now is Jeremy Lin, this guy. So good for him. I mean, I'm glad for him. And here's a quick little note. Jeremy Lin is the first American player to play in the NBA from Chinese descent, which means, I know y'all know Yao Ming, you know, the big center from Houston Rockets. He's retired now because of injury, but he's directly from China. Jeremy Lin was born right here in America. So that's groundbreaking in itself. So that's good for him, you know, good, and good for the Knicks. You know, you gotta give it up to the Knicks, even though I'm a Sixer fan, by the way. I'm Philadelphia 76ers. And you see, boom, I'm Cowboy 24/7, 379. I'm Cowboy all day, but, you know, I like other sports. I like the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a young team. Just like Jeremy Lin here, he's a young player. You know, Jeremy Lin, to me, seems like a good kid. So, you know, it's a Tim Tebow thing. You guys that's familiar with Tim Tebow is sort of changing everything in the NFL, and you got Jeremy Lin, he's doing the same thing. You know, he wants to, basically, it seems like these guys want to do the same thing. They want to help people. You know, they want to use their fame and their celebrity to get their causes out, which is an amazing thing. And I wish more athletes and more people that have that opportunity to do such. You know, if you got a cause or anything you want to get out there, get out there. Use your fame, use your celebrity to get those causes out there. And that's what, you know, Tebow's and this Jeremy Lin kid, he wants to do. He wants more Asian people to be into basketball. You know, it seems like he's the one that's sort of riding the whole thing, but, you know, he's getting his cause out there, and congratulations to him, so he's good. Here's a quick little tidbit I found out about Mr. Jeremy Lin. He can speak Mandarin. I know everybody thinks, oh, he's Chinese and you speak Chinese. Well, with China, there's different types of languages and dialects and all that stuff, but he's not as fluent in speaking the language. He can understand it, he says, but he can't speak it all the way, so he can only speak in Mandarin and not Cantonese. So maybe if you guys have a little trivia question, check that. All right, in honor of Black History Month, I went long and deep, people. Went long and deep for y'all. Because you know on Sports Focus, that's what I do. I went long and deep. This is Black History Month. And I'm going to reveal, out of the 4 major sports, the first blacks in those sports. So let's go with, I'm going to start with hockey. I know black people like hockey. But it's still a sport. Black people played it, all types of people played it. So the first black in sports, in NHL, which is National Hockey League, his name is Willie Eldon O'Ree. He's from Canada, and he started in 1951. So that's kind of cool, 1951. You know, I know he's black, but he was born in Canada, you know. So, but the first African American, the American black, to play in hockey is Val James. That's right, Val James. He played left winger for the Buffalo Sabres. Started in 1984. So you figured the first black was in 1951, and then you got to go to 1984. Woo! It's a long time. That is a long time. So, you know, he played for the Buffalo Sabres, like I said, and Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's cool. I know black people, y'all don't like hockey. You know, it's ice and it's cold and all that, but don't knock it till you try. I haven't played hockey, but trust me, hockey is way better live than on television. So if you get a chance, you get out there. And if you know, one of the games for Hartford there, the Wolf Pack, go check it. It's pretty actually kind of fun. So now let's move it to baseball. I know baseball, the first black to play in baseball. I know y'all thinking, oh, Jackie Robinson. Moses Fleetwood Walker. I went deep. I told you I'm going deep on y'all for this one. Moses Fleetwood Walker was credited as the first African American to play in a Major League Baseball game. And guess the date, folks. May 1st, 1884. Woo! That's a long time, folks. That's a long time. You know, he played for the Toledo Blue Stockings against the Louisville Eclipse. Figure those names out. But he said he didn't have a good game, but he played. Good to him. He played. So, and a little note on that, he was also a doctor. Wrote a lot of books. Didn't have a long playing career, but he got in there. But there, like I said, I did my research, and they also have William Edward White. William Edward White, he played one game one game for the Providence Grays in 1879. So, we going back a lot of years. So, stories can be conflicted. This one will say this one will say that one. But we got William Edward White played one game in 1879 for the Providence Grays. So that, when I was sitting there and looking at this, I said, this is very interesting. And a little footnote on that. Now, you guys are going to trip on this one. Now, this is Black History Month, so peep this. He was the son of a white slave owner. So he obviously went with a black woman. He was fair-skinned. This is what I found interesting. They trying to say, according to the books, that he was passing as a white man because his skin at that time was real light. So that's probably how he got in there and played the game. He was passing as a white man. So William Edward White, 1879. That's a long time ago, folks. So now let's move it on to the NFL, to football. Now, football is interesting. I find it interesting too. Charles Folis is being credited as the first professional football player. He played for the Shelby Blues from 1902 to 1906. And check this. He got paid in 1904. So for 2 years, he didn't get any money. He was just playing. You could say for the love of the game, but they was like, no. But in 1904, they decided to pay him. So in the Ohio League, by the way, that's in Ohio, the Shelby Blues, 1902 to 1906. I told you, I went deep. I went deep for y'all. But, you got your first black players. That was a professional football league in Ohio back in those days. And then when it became the NFL, they had Fritz Pollard and Bobby Marshall. Those two are being credited as the first blacks in the NFL. And check the date, 1920. That's when the NFL started, 1920. So you had two blacks playing in the NFL. So how about that? And Fritz Pollard, by the way, in 1921 was the first black coach. See, they don't like to talk about that stuff. See, I went deep. When you go deep, you get stuff like that. So now this one is very interesting. And like I said, I did the research. I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, I couldn't believe it. The first black in the NBA, you have 3. And let me run down the story right quick. There's 3 that could claim to this, that they was the first black. You have Charles Henry Chuck Cooper. You got Nat Sweetwater Clifton. You like that Sweetwater, right? Sweetwater. And then you got Earl Lloyd. All 3 of these men, they claim to be the first black to play in the NBA. You got Charles Henry Chuck Cooper. He was drafted in 1950. And you got Nate Sweetwater Clifton. He was the first black player to sign a contract and make the roster. And then you got Earl Lloyd, was the first black to play in the NBA. He actually started the season 1950 to 51. But, you got something like this, and then it was kind of cool. You got 3 laying claim to the whole thing. But you know what, guys? That was interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. My time is up. I'm going to see y'all next week. You see I'm rocking Boom, my boys, even though they're not playing. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.